for my morning walk. How y'all doing? We got a lot to talk about this morning. So, Nolan Wells, we're going to talk about that. And we're also going to talk about his obsession with President Obama. But first, I want to start off with Orange Piggy's obsession with President Obama. You can never measure up to that. You can never measure up to that. That's one thing. Another thing is you wish that you could be half of the man that he is. Educated with a college degree. He didn't basically have to have his daddy pay for his education, pay for him to get into college. Because your daddy basically bought you everything. See, President Obama got it from the ground up. You had everything handed to you on a silver platter, Orange Piggy. And he has a Nobel Peace Prize, which is something that you're begging people to put your name on. You're forcing people to do it. You're bullying people into submission, which reminds me, the Trump regime labeled the Smithsonian Museum radical for coverage, and they're demanding redactions. We know what you mean by radical: slavery, Black history. They want to whitewash it and put basically everything that's in the Confederacy in the Smithsonian Museum. So this is the whitewashing. This is where whitewashing comes in. To erase everything that our ancestors, our great-grandmothers, great-grandfathers, our aunts, uncles, everybody who's been during slavery, segregation, all of that, they're trying to erase it. They want it to go away. This is what authoritarian leaders and white supremacists do. They whitewash it. Okay, Nolan Wells. Okay, let's see. Before his body was found, for those of you who don't know or are aware, Nolan Wells is the Black teen that went missing. This is in Mississippi. And then his body was found. Before his body was found, his so-called friends deactivated their social media accounts. Tells us everything we need to know right there. But y'all didn't know where he was. Y'all had his phone. Y'all say he left with some girl. That's not the case. Not at all. They're not safe. And they're saying the ones that we're not the ones that are safe. Black people, they're trying to spin it on us. No. Y'all are the ones that are not safe. Do y'all know how many Black people have been strung up from trees this year alone? How many Black people have been harmed under this regime? Of our people. And they're trying to spin it on us and say we're the ones. No. You're the ones. They're not safe. They're the ones causing harm to us. And that's what's going on. That's what's happening. Morning. And Nicki Minaj, she, MAGA Minaj, excuse me. Nicki Minaj took a photo with the Louisiana governor who eliminated Black districts. So I mean, white supremacy, like I said in my previous live, I had a little stomach bug. Stomach was bothering me. Acid reflux. But that's why I didn't do a live yesterday. I'm still kind of recovering from that. But yes, Lord. I mean, she needs that money. And I said this yesterday. Shout outs to Kwame, Pyro Media Network, and Malcolm as well, too. When they were talking about Nicki, she needs that money. Conscious even said it. Shout outs to my colleague, Conscious TV. He says celebrities will vote according to their tax bracket. They're not going to let go of that wealth. Now, you have some who will help out in the community who will do, but they will vote to hold on and get those tax breaks. And that's exactly, remember I told y'all that Donald Trump was giving out government contracts? This is all a favor for him. And that's why they're flattering him. Good morning. $400 million to a jet plane in Qatari that they gifted him. Let's see. Other countries are giving him awards. See, if you can flatter an authoritarian leader, that's not the all. That's not the end all be all. It's more that's going to come with that. You're going to be paying a hefty price for that. Just know that. He knows what he's doing. And you have this racist Benny Johnson who said that a black woman's job is to carry the white man's children. See, this is why the Confederacy still needs to be punished. Because they're able to run rampant and do exactly whatever the fuck they want to do, say whatever the fuck they want to say. But when we do it, it's repercussions. So when the revolt comes and the Confederacy gets their ass whooped by the Black Revolution, because trust and believe, black people, we will rise up and we will be on the other side of Trumpism. Don't say nothing. Long overdue. 400 years. And you expect black people, you want us to celebrate freedom, but freedom for whom? Freedom for colonizers. Because that's how it's been for 400 years. 246 years worth of slavery. And don't get me started on segregation, how long that was. They are turning back the clock on things that our ancestors, our great aunts, our great moms, our great grandmothers, everybody fought so long and hard for. Midterms are coming. And they know that their policies are unpopular with us. We don't like this shit. So therefore, we're going to overturn this. We're going to overturn this. We're going to try to come up with an amendment to block this amendment and stop this. But Nolan Wells is not the only incident. Nah. It's not the only incident. Black people are going missing. Black people are losing their lives. It's no coincidence. Look under the regime that we're under right now. And whereas these cases should be investigated and people should be held accountable, you have the FBI saying, hey, we're going to go after the 2020 election again. We're going to get some of our analysts to go and reinvestigate the 2020 election. He lost, fair and square. He lost. There's nothing that needs to be investigated about 2020. He lost. And I don't know how many times we have to keep saying that. But because his ego was bruised and people are pushing back and telling him no, he feels as though he can up the ante. So all right, game on, Orange Piggy. We can up the ante too. The War of 1776, when shit pops the fuck off, oh, white people, don't come crying back to us. Black people, we already done warned you and told you what it was. Some of his supporters are now saying they had to turn off Fox News, and now y'all got to trust us, independent journalists and influencers who are giving you the actual truth. Because they have propaganda. And the demagogues, Fox News, Newsmax, Benny Johnson, and let's see, the racist podcaster. See, they have their voices. And they're drowning out the actual truth. This is where you have to push back. Because what they're doing is called quelling dissent. When you push back in opposition or have critical thinking, they don't want that. They want you to believe in their reality, which is not true. Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. Point blank, period. Plain and simple. So they're going to try to spin, they're going to deny, they're going to try to come up with their own theories, they're going to try to come up with all of these things. But the key thing to remember is keep applying pressure. They're saying that Mitch McConnell is, yeah. And I put a caption, well, my comment yesterday was, well, all snapping turtles go to heaven. I hate that happened to him, but hey, Mitch McConnell is the reason why we have Donald Trump. Y'all refuse to open an investigation on him. Y'all refuse to see. We would have indicted and convicted and indicted him, impeached and indicted a long time ago. We wouldn't be in this position. Merrick Garland is also to blame somewhat too. I'm a tap on your shoulder. We could have been had this man behind bars. Because see, if he lost in 2020, the 2024 election, then we wouldn't be in this position. He would have been in prison. Now he's got all of the balls are in his court. Every branch of government, judicial, the highest court of the land, the majority 6, they granted him immunity so he can go after citizens, journalists. We saw him lock up Don Lemon. Anybody who pushes back. We know the truth. Punish people for 10 years for showing the fucked up deflecting pool? No, this isn't normal. And I'm not going to sit here and act as if it is normal when it's not. It's fascism. That's what it is. And I'm not going to sit up here and normalize it. We're going to call a thing a thing. It's no coincidence that Nolan Wells turned up unalived. Because this year, at a record number, Black people have been popping up, strung up from trees and so many things under this regime. And they have yet to acknowledge it. They're not going to. But their focus is, how can we steal the midterms? They've already hijacked the midterms. Like I told y'all in the live before, make sure you're registered to vote. Check your voter registration because they're purging voters off of the rolls. Forced sterilization, forced labor. You're going to force women to have children? Because I heard that as well, too, from one of the Republicans. A woman's body should be her choice. And anybody who is anti-abortion, I don't fuck with you. It's one individual close within our circle. But y'all will get it. Says that they don't believe in that. Well, first of all, I don't want to see another woman not advocate for other women's rights. Not at all. I'm a Black trans woman, so I'm going to make sure that my biological sisters and my trans sisters, and in between, everybody eats. I'm not going to vote to take away their rights. And for you as a woman yourself to sit up here and say, well, I don't believe in this, that's a problem. No, because you don't know the circumstance for the other woman. I told y'all the story about Amari Marsh. Amari Marsh was 22 years old. She's facing up to 20 years in prison for miscarrying. The judge threw that case out. That's in Orangeburg, South Carolina, which is like 5 minutes away from me. Look it up. In Dallas, Texas, It was a woman who literally had to sue because they turned her away. She had abdominal pains and everything else. I can't get into the details of that. But come on now. Come on. Black women are dying from sepsis. Adriana Smith, Amber Nicole Thurman. These women could have gotten life-saving care. Your policies are dystopian and they're harming women. Women in red states, women in blue states, but mostly African American women because Black women die from a high infant mortality rate. Studies have shown that time and time again. But y'all refuse to believe into reality. You believe into the propaganda that Fox News. Now some of y'all are starting to wake up and see that this man only cares about himself. $400 billion to go to Iran, a country that wasn't even bothering us. But see, President Obama, that's why he is obsessed with him, because you wish you could be half of the man. You can't measure up to him. He's well loved. You're the laughing stock, Orange Piggy, and you are hated. The FIFA World Cup, I didn't pay attention to. I'm not into that. But yeah, we lost. Refusing people who are actual refugees, Black people, to come into this country. But you'll allow the white ones from South Africa to come in. Yeah, this is the ethnic cleansing. This is what's called the ethnic cleansing. And you can thank white supremacists like Stephen Miller and Russ Voigt. Don't get me started on Hanson from Scary Movie too, Russ Voigt. Who's over what? OMB? Office Management Budget? Oh, check out his hearing on what he said about children. Yeah. This is white Christian nationalism, and it's right there in front of your face. Right there in front of your face. As plain as day. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Other than they want to make America white. Y'all seen the show Leave It to Beaver. Y'all were laughing when I said that. But if you go back and you watch it, you don't really see no Black people in that show. They want their own version of America. And even for white women, your voices will be suppressed. You can't have no say-so over your body. The SAVE Act, yes, it would harm Black people, but it would hurt women more. They don't want your vote. They don't want your voice. What the SAVE Act would do is take away a woman's right to vote. Basically, good morning, Shasta. Good morning. I'll be back Thursday, y'all. I'm going to try to, tomorrow, too. I don't have one tomorrow and then Thursday. 16th and the 17th. And a couple more dates. But yes, that's what the SAVE Act would do. It would take away a woman's right to vote. I've got some good news to share, but I can't wait until the ink is dry. Me and my brother, yes. I'll be sharing that pretty soon. But yes, this is where we're at currently. Nolan Wells is not the only incident. There have been Black people who have went missing. And of course, Kash Patel and the FBI, they're not going to discuss that. They're going to talk about it. They're going to discuss protecting Donald Trump from these damn Epstein files, though. You heard what Todd Blanche said. We're going to shield him from any sort of prosecution. Snaps, sorry for fanning, but it's the real, raw truth. The ball is in his court. He has weaponized the DOJ, the courts, the FBI. He has loyalists instilled in just about every branch. Purged and pushed out the people who were telling him no, because fascists demand loyalty. That's how fascism and authoritarianism works, because they demand absolute blind loyalty. And see, Todd Blanche, they're willing to violate the Constitution, lose their law licenses, because at the end of the day, when the Nuremberg trials comes, 2026 edition, y'all will be held accountable also too. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. I mean, I'm not shocked. And as far as Nicki Minaj taking a picture with the Louisiana governor, and then the incident with Nolan Wells, this young man's body was found. Mississippi and Louisiana, and I'm in South Carolina. I showed y'all the Confederacy runs deep down here. I showed y'all the old police station, decorated with the Confederate flag. So that's been their mission ever since they got in office. Good morning. But I also want to shift gears here and talk about, shout outs to my girl, T.S. Madison. She won her case. You still got the chatty box patties out here. I'm not even going to mention her name because she strikes people's channels when you mention her and talk about her. But I'll say Miss 4 Million Reasons, the whistleblower, and then the other individual who not only is obsessed with Madison, but she's obsessed with Candy as well too. Like, what is y'all's issue with Madison? Why are y'all so fixated with her? And I said this in my college Conscious TV's broadcast yesterday. Was it the day before? Yeah, y'all better start the lawyer up because Craig said, tap me in. Don't, I got something for you. I can't wait. Accountability is coming. 2026 is the year. That's your bigotry, your hatred, your transphobia, your racism, your white supremacy. Because, see, Craig said it brilliantly. Our people, black people, some of us, hetero now, some who are queerphobic and transphobic, y'all are the Karens of our community. Yes, you are. Well, I can't be racist. No, but you can be transphobic and ignorant as fuck to what you don't understand. Because you hate the people that this man hates. That's why some of y'all voted for the motherfucker. And I hate the motherfucker. I really do. I hate his ass. The same way I hate everybody who is Republican or conservative. I told y'all I don't fuck with conservatives or Republicans. So don't expect me to have a conversation with them. But some of y'all motherfuckers out here got the game twisted. If you think that this is not the year of accountability, you will be held accountable. You cannot go out here and misgender and stalk and harass people and not expect accountability. Let's talk about parasocial relationships. I'm so glad that I'm not on a level like that yet, because that's the shit you gotta deal with. That's the shit you gotta deal with. On a daily, you gotta look over your shoulder everywhere you go. Y'all were out here threatening Madison. And then y'all told a lie. Oh, she put his, no, she didn't. She did not. And to Miss Thing over there in Atlanta, who shall remain nameless, because I want her flagging and striking my channel. She's notorious for doing shit like that. But yeah, you mentioned my colleague, my husband, Conscience. So I tell him that no, Conscience is speaking truth to power. That's what Conscience is doing. The same thing King Jobs is doing, speaking truth to power. The same thing that I'm doing, speaking truth to power. See, when you're waking it the fuck up, it's a problem. We're not going to stop doing that. It's accountability season. so everybody can get theirs. Period. Let's see what time we got. 7:24, 7:30. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna go back to the house, shower. But yeah, type a few loose ends today. Relax. I'll be back hopefully tomorrow or Thursday. Still trying to get over this little stomach bug. Y'all see me holding my stomach. Acid reflux is something, y'all. But yes, that's why I didn't go live those 2 days. I was down. Getting better, recovering. So we're gonna make it work. But yeah, like, we need to have a deeper conversation about parasocial relationships. Because as we, the creatives, we don't know some of y'all from a can of paint. I can tell you the ones that I do trust who come in here who are like, they are very supportive, like Chef Scott, Bugs the God, Conscious, Deshaun, Alvin, Tit for Tat, my brother K-Toops, everybody that you see in here on a daily. Chrissy, so many. Lotus Egyptian Flower, my loyals, my supporters, Kendra, MEW. Some of my followers are the same mutual followers that Conscious has, that King Jives has. And they rock with me, and I fucks with each and every one of y'all. But to anybody else who's an op or an outsider, I don't know you. Miss 4 Million Reasons. And to the lady in Atlanta, that's Madison with Shay in the shoe closet. I don't know her either. But you've attached yourself to Madison. And this is not just obsession, but I think it's jealousy as well, too. It's jealousy. Because y'all can't mention her directly or indirectly. Through video, through nobody else's platform, nothing. Shut up. Don't say nothing. So let me see what time we got. 7:26. I'm going to have to go in the store a minute. But I'm going to stop my walk here. But yeah, like I was saying though, leave people alone. Don't attach yourself to people you don't know. Period. It's that simple. It's that simple. And I'll conclude there, Fashion Dolls. So I will see y'all tomorrow. Good morning. Tomorrow and Thursday. All right? But yes, I just wanted to talk about that. The whole Nolan Wells situation and how it is not an isolated incident. There's more. There's more. So I will see y'all tomorrow and Thursday. And then we've got some more shows lined up as well, too. We're going to make it work. But yes, I will chat with y'all later. Y'all enjoy the replay, and I'll talk to you soon.